Hey guys, I'm Joyce. Welcome to my video diary. Today is Thursday, February 15th, my brother's birthday. Happy birthday, Alfred. 2024. Lacey is joining me tonight. She usually joins me. You just don't usually see her. You coming over, hon? Come on. Okay. All right, so today's topic, do I really want to be getting up at 4:30 in the morning? I honestly don't even remember the last time I got up at 4:30 in the morning. It was probably before I got sick. Who knows? Maybe getting sick was part of that. I mean, maybe getting sick was kind of a result of getting up at 4:30 in the morning. Although the first couple of times I did it, I felt fine. I was like, I just did it, you know? But and you know by now, I guess, that I'm going to refer to my notes because it's just easier that way. The reason I decided that I wanted to get up at 4:30 in the morning, originally I was wanting to honor the cat's circadian rhythm. And that means feeding them at dawn and at dusk. Well, dawn is like around, I don't know, 6:30, something like that. And so there was that, and then I thought, and I just kind of worked back from there. So if I wanted to be feeding them around 6:30, then before that, I call it setting the table, getting their dishes all out on the counter, getting the food cans and the container of rabbit, if I've got rabbit at the time. Get their supplements, medications, getting it all out on the counter, getting it ready, taking the dogs out for their walk. These are both things that I do before I feed them. Getting dressed, making my bed. I like to get those things done before I start the day. And before that, I had started doing yoga or stretching. When I first get up, and I liked that. I liked that being the first thing I did when I got up. I felt like it was helping me just in the rest of the day, just loosening my body up some. And so working backwards from all of that put me at 4:30. And I actually naturally wake up around 7:30 with the sun. Well, I mean, the sun comes up before that. I think sunrise is technically around 6:30, which is why I wanted to feed everybody at 6:30. But I don't know, the level that the sun is in the sky at 7:30 in the morning is what wakes me up. And that's what I feel comfortable with. So 4:30, 3 hours earlier, I mean, it's not impossible. It's not natural for me. Back to my notes. Another reason that I wanted to get up at that time was it actually fit very nicely with doing my whole morning routine. This is feeding the animals I'm losing my words. From feeding the animals to getting the dishes all picked up and getting the dishwasher started and all of that would allow me to start my day at 8 o'clock. So I could have like an 8 to 4 work day. And that's really appealing to me because that's kind of the general work day for from what I've seen, most of the rest of the world. Of course, there's second shift and there's third shift and lobster shift, mostly for manufacturing. But I was having trouble like making appointments, running errands. A lot of places would be almost closed by the time I got out to run errands if I get up at 7:30 in the morning. And that was frustrating also. The bank lobby would be closed. The health food store that I go to might be closed. The recycling center, if I actually needed to go into the office, they would be closed. So it was that was frustrating. So while I was getting up at 4:30 in the morning and having from 8 to 4 to get those things done, it was awesome. It really was. I felt really good doing that. And I'm not sure what happened. Maybe I wrote it in my notes. Did I write it in my notes? Yeah, I don't know. Again, there was getting sick, but I think I was having trouble with it before that. Well, for one thing, getting up at 4:30, for me, if I want to get 9 hours, means going to bed at 7:30 at night. And that has been really difficult. Maybe because of the timing of dinner, because even though, I don't know, I just don't know. And I don't want to waste this video with me trying to figure it out. But yeah, going to bed at 7:30 was really difficult. The only time I can specifically think of that it is difficult is Friday night movie night. Because my friend who I do movie night with, well, it used to be, we'd be up until 10 o'clock at least, and sometimes midnight watching movies because I started my day later and I was feeding everybody dinner later. And that's just kind of my natural rhythm, is to be up until about 12 o'clock, till about midnight. Of course, I do still need 9 hours, so so I was getting up later than 7:30, but in the morning. But that's the only thing I can think of that was a real sticking point with getting to bed at 7:30. I don't know. But anyway, with watching these decluttering videos that I have been, with these 3 particular women who have a different take on decluttering and organizing, the traditional organizing styles that we tend to see on TV, don't work for them. Because, well, the one lady has ADHD. The other lady, what is she? She just, when it comes to the typical questions you're supposed to ask yourself about the items that you have when you're decluttering, is, one of the questions is, does this have value? Well, for her, everything has value. She can see value in absolutely everything that she has. So that wasn't helping her. My point is, they approach decluttering and organizing differently. They approach them, they have found ways to declutter and organize that work with their natural styles. Their natural organizing tendencies. Like, some people like their things hidden. Some people like everything in view. They want to be able to see everything that they have, like clear containers and such. Um, some people, some people are very detailed with their organizing, and other people are just like, whatever. It's in the general area, you know. And so the one lady, Cass, she talks about these different organizing and sorting styles, and that's how I came to discover that I'm a cricket, which I mentioned a few days ago. But taking that lesson and bringing it back to my schedule, part of the reason that I came up with the getting up at 4:30 was adapting to the rest of the world. Because I felt like it would make my life easier. I felt like it would make my schedule easier if I could just adapt to the rest of the world. And I'm not so sure. I kind of think I'm screwed either way. I kind of think whether I get up at 4:30 or I get up at 7:30, it's just not going to be ideal. And thinking right now about that, if neither one of them is going to be ideal, then I kind of have to choose one. Which one would I rather have if neither one is going to be ideal? I think I would rather have the one that is just most natural for me, which is getting up at 7:30 in the morning. One of the problems with that is, the one example I can think of is for Let's Stay Together Pets. I was often the transportation for clients' pets who were getting spayed and neutered. So, we weren't just covering the cost of the spay and the neuter. Several of our clients don't have transportation, or they don't have reliable transportation. They rely on other people for their transportation. So we would take care of the transportation as well. And the one place in particular that we like to go is an hour's drive from me, and the animals have to be there at 7:30 in the morning, which is my natural waking up time. And not only is the place an hour's drive from me, but I'd also have to drive to the client to pick up the animal. And sometimes the client would not be ready. So I'd have to get there even earlier just to make sure that the animal got to the vet in time. So that's the one specific thing I can think of, because I was doing quite a bit of that. But that's the one specific example I can think of in which getting up at 7:30, that just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. Honestly, it also that scenario also wouldn't work with a 4:30 wake up, because I still want to feed everybody before I go and make the bed and do my stretching and all of that. And I wouldn't, if I do all of that the way I made my schedule, getting up at 4:30 in the morning, I wouldn't start my day until 8 o'clock. So, and that's half an hour after the animal would have to be there. So, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go back to getting up at 7:30. I don't have to. I don't have to, but I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try that again and see if I can make that work better. Okay, I'm going to go back to my notes. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to read this because I was just kind of brainstorming. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to make this work, but I do know that I need to stop focusing on my frustration because I have been frustrated. I need to stop focusing on my frustration and how hard this all seems to be. Regardless of whatever schedule I choose, I'm still going to have the same number of hours in a day. Also the same number of hours that anybody else has. And besides all that, I want to keep in mind, I want to remind myself, I don't know. I want to stay in touch with how grateful I am for the inheritances that my mom and my grandma set up for me. Even if the money runs out, it has bought me time. It's bought me a lot of time. Well, 2013 is when I retired, so that's 11 years ago. It has bought me 11 years of getting myself healthier, of learning more about how my body functions, how my brain functions best, just being able to realize that I can get up at 7:30 in the morning naturally. It bought me all of that. It bought me time to learn all of that, to try to figure it out. I have figured out some things. I've figured out a lot of things. And I need to keep that momentum going and keep that, I don't know, just focus on the solutions rather than my frustration. Anyway, so yeah, because I've been kind of pouting, I've been overwhelmed and just kind of inside going, make it work, you know, and that doesn't make it work. It doesn't make it work, and it does not honor the gifts that I have received. Anyway, I mean, I know that's going to be part of it anyway, getting frustrated, getting overwhelmed. You know, it's going to be part of my life here and there. And I just need to accept it, allow it to be there, and then move on. Say, okay, I'm overwhelmed today. And what's next? You know, but so yeah, I guess I've decided while discussing this that I'm going to see about waking up at 7:30. So I'm just going to move my calendar around. Fortunately, that does help me. Having a digital calendar and being able to move chunks of time around, that really does help me. So yeah, I guess I'll start at 7:30 and see what I can do with that. That's it. And I'll keep you posted, of course. So, all right, that's it for me tonight. Talk to you guys later. Good night.